welcome back to my channel. My name's Becca and today's video is going to be the third video in a series I've been doing where I give you a tour of a different room in my apartment and share with you everything I do to make that room more sustainable. So if you missed the first two videos, I did a bedroom and a bathroom tour. Definitely be sure to watch those after you watch this one. I'll link them up here and down below for you all. But for today's video, I'm going to be doing a kitchen tour. So like I said, showing you everything I do in my kitchen to make it more sustainable. So that includes like the decisions we made when furnishing it, the foods we eat, how we wash dishes, and just everything in between. But before we can get into that, I wanted to ask that you would please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps to support my channel so much, and I would just absolutely love to have you as a little part of this community. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, so I want to start off by giving you guys a quick little tour just so you know where everything is. So first up, we have this little section, which is technically in our living room, but we use it as an extension of our kitchen. So we just have this shelving unit with our microwave and then some veggies. And my roommate Sarah is a tea lover, so she has her tea collection over here. Then of course we just have a plant, and around this corner is our breakfast nook area, so of course we have a table and chair set and just some different little things on the table. We have a nice big window, and then in this corner we have this lemon print, which I think is so cute and just perfect for the kitchen. And then we actually have a back door, but we never use it, so Sarah just keeps her bike in front of it. And we also have our trash can here because we're not perfectly zero waste. We do have a trash can. Sorry if the audio is bad, it's just the hum of the refrigerator, so bear with me. But around this corner to the left is like the main area of our kitchen. It is quite small. I would love it if we had a little bit of extra counter space, but it gets the job done, so I really can't complain. Over here we just have this little stand with our dish towels and some food. And then in here, you know, we just have all of the main things a kitchen has. So we have a stove, an oven, we have our sink, and then of course we just have our fridge with a freezer on top. And there's cabinets up there and just all around, of course, you know, as you would have in a kitchen. And of course we just store our dishes, pots, and pans in there, and we also store most of our dry food in here because we don't have a pantry. And I'll just point out a couple of other things. We just have this bowl here which has some potatoes in it right now, kind of random. And then you'll see we have lots of like little things lined up, so it's a little cluttered, but I think it's still cute, and we just kind of have to do that since we don't have a ton of storage. So we have things like cooking utensils, oils, dry goods, some smaller appliances, and like our coffee and tea station. Also have my dirty dishes from lunch because I couldn't be bothered to wash them up before filming, but hey, you know, that's what it usually looks like. Honestly, there's usually more dishes than that. And then on this little windowsill, we just have tons of little plants and things. So I wanted to talk you all through kind of what our process was like when we were buying things for our kitchen. It's pretty much the same as any other time I am shopping for a space. So our first step was to use the things we already have. I always think that that is the most sustainable thing to do because it doesn't require any new resources. So for example, our microwave, as well as the two smaller rugs and the little stand you saw around the corner. All of those things were things Sarah had in her dorm freshman year, and she brought them with her to our apartments, and we continue to get a lot of great use out of them. So you'll probably notice by now my second step is to always look for things secondhand. So this table and chair set, as well as these super cute little placemats, were all found at a Habitat for Humanity here in Richmond. And of course, I always recommend seeing if you can get items secondhand from friends and family. So this toaster was actually a hand-me-down from my sister. She wasn't really using it, so she gave it to me, and we have been loving it. And of course, we are avid thrifters, so pretty much all of our smaller items like dishes have been thrifted. This is a cabinet above our sink, which holds most of our dishes and a few other things. The left side is Sarah's, the right side is mine, and I would say probably about 80% of this cabinet has been thrifted. And of course, we are not perfect, so we did have to end up buying some things new, especially items like our pots and pans, but we are just doing our best. That's really all you can do, and of course, doing what you can is still better than doing nothing at all. So let's move on to talking about food, because that is obviously what a kitchen is all about. So for starters, Sarah and I are both vegan, which in general, eating a vegan diet is better for the environment than eating an omnivorous diet. And in addition to being a vegan, we're also both pretty low waste when it comes to our food. So that includes being both mindful of the packaging of the food and also things like making sure we're eating all of our food before it goes bad so we're not wasting it. And if you guys want to know more about kind of the grocery side of things, definitely check out my recent video. I shared a ton of tips for sustainable grocery shopping. And if you want to know more about like the food waste side of things, let me know and I can do a whole video dedicated to that, but I'm not going to include it here so this video doesn't get too long. I would say that the only thing we don't really do is compost. It's something we both really want to do, we just haven't found a way to do it yet. I think, fingers crossed, I may have finally figured out a solution, so I'll definitely be sure to update you guys on that either on Instagram or in the future video. And as for storing leftovers, I use a mixture of plastic containers that I've had for years, as well as stasher bags and glass jars from things like peanut butter that I clean out and reuse, so no need for plastic baggies or cling wrap. And of course, you're always going to end up with dirty dishes in a kitchen, so let's talk about how we wash ours. We obviously don't have a dishwasher, so we wash all of ours by hand. So for our like scrubbers, we just use a couple of wooden brushes. I believe both of these are from Package Free Shop, so I will link these down below. And then as for dish soap, we used to use a solid bar of soap, which is also from Package Free Shop, I believe, but we ran out and we just haven't replaced it. So in the meantime, we're using this bottle of dish soap. This was an extra one Sarah's parents had, and they weren't going to use it, so we figured we would try it out. And it does seem like it's more of an eco-friendly option than, say, your typical Dawn or Palmolive. So this is from the brand Everspring. It's not tested on animals, it's biodegradable, and the bottle is made of 100% post-consumer recycled plastic, so this definitely has some pros to it. And then as for drying our dishes, we just use this really cute wooden rack that I actually thrifted. I got it for $3 and it actually sells at Target for $20. So it was also a really great budget find, but we just prop this up either on our table or our counter and we put a towel underneath of it and it works super great and it looks pretty cute too. Alright, so let's move on to our little coffee and tea station because I truly believe that is a integral part of any kitchen. So this mug stand as well as some of our mugs were thrifted because once again I always believe in choosing secondhand first. And I also thrifted my French press. I see these in thrift stores all the time and I truly believe that they are the most zero waste way to make coffee because you don't need filters or cups or anything like that. And then as for my grounds, I just keep them in this canister, which was something I bought new, but again, it was years ago and I continue to use it. And as for my actual grounds, I used to get those in bulk at Whole Foods, but that hasn't really been feasible because of the pandemic, so right now I'm just focusing on getting them in the largest bag possible. And in the future, I also want to focus on getting fair trade and shade-grown beans as well. And then as for tea, I don't have it out here, mine's in a cabinet, but I do try to buy from brands that don't use plastic in their tea bags because that is a huge contributor to eating microplastics. So I really like the brand Celestial. They're also great because they don't use like staples and tags and strings, so there's less waste there as well. And then we also both have these little dishes. You can use these to store your tea bag so that you can actually reuse the tea bag and get more than 1 cup of tea out of it, which is of course very eco-friendly. And I want to share a couple of extra tips with you as well. So my first one is to get a water filtering pitcher. So this is from the brand Brita. You can find these pretty much everywhere and they're a great alternative to buying bottled water. You do still have some plastic waste with the filter, but overall it is a lot less than you would have with bottled water. Another absolute essential is dish towels and cloth napkins. These are a great alternative to paper towels because they are reusable and you can use them for so many different things. You can use them for drying your hands, storing food, cleaning up messes, as actual napkins, just so many different things, and you can also thrift them pretty often. And my last tip for you all is to make sure you are unplugging your small appliances when they are not in use. Even when you're not using them, they still are using a small amount of electricity, so it saves energy to unplug them and it'll also save you some money on your electrical bill. Alright, so that's going to be all for today's video. Definitely be sure to check out the other videos in this series like I mentioned earlier. They'll be linked down below for you all. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up as well as subscribe and turn on the post notifications below. I know I always say it, but it really is the best way to support my channel And it also ensures that you don't miss any of my future uploads, which I'm going to be making a full apartment tour in just a couple of weeks, so I don't want you to miss that. You can also go follow me over on Instagram. It's just at becca.gargiulo, and I post tons more tips for sustainable living over there, so check it out. But I'm gonna quit rambling. I hope you are all having a wonderful, spectacular day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.